Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Prime Business. I am Pius Kojobaka. Economist Dr. Edu Sarkodie has entreated government to be proactive in addressing any potential economic spillovers from the ongoing Middle East conflict, despite Ghana's strong reserve buildup. Crude oil prices have already risen sharply since last Friday amid fears of supply disruptions, and the development is expected to affect shipments of refined petroleum products as well as other goods imported into Ghana. Reacting to these concerns, Dr. Sarkodie emphasized the need for strategic measures to mitigate potential impacts on Ghana's economy, particularly in the oil and gas sector.
Things escalate and inflation rises, BOG will be forced to raise their policy rates, and this will translate into high lending costs or borrowing costs. And you don't want that. This will compound the cost of living in the country, because almost even the charcoal seller will end up increasing the price of charcoal because of how import dependent our economy is. And that's why we always preach that we should go back to the old school of industrializing the country, because once you have industrialized, some of these things could be averted. But hey, we have to, like I said, the government has to be proactive, especially leveraging on the windfall. Like I said, Ghana, we also export crude oil. So when there is an increment in international crude oil price, the country stands to benefit. The government can use the windfall, the difference between the budgeted amount and the actual amount, which is positive, to reduce the taxes and levies on the export price to cushion us. I think that the government can do it.
Away from that, the Bank of Ghana is urging savings and loans companies to develop innovative financial products to serve the country's unbanked population. The call was made at the Opportunity International Global Board and CEOs meeting held in Accra. More in this report.
Speaking at the Global Board and CEOs meeting, Head of Banking Supervision at the Bank of Ghana stressed that, despite progress in financial inclusion, a significant portion of Ghanaians, particularly those in rural and underserved communities, still lack access to formal banking services.
All these achievements are certainly cause for celebration. Let's know that one of the main goals of savings and loans subsector is to assist unbanked population. And so I implore you to keep on introducing products and new products and innovative products that will meet the needs of those at the lower end of the market.
Speaking to Joy Business, Chief Executive Officer of Opportunity International US, Atu Tandon, described Ghana as a strong example of how inclusive finance can transform lives when backed by strong partnerships and good governance.
United States, and here to celebrate many decades now of working in Ghana with serving people at the bottom of the pyramid. And part of that journey, truly for us, a magnificent part of that journey has been the opportunity to set up and then run Opportunity International Savings and Loans. You know, we now go back, set up in 2004. So we go back a while in Ghana with set up by Ghanaians, run by Ghanaians, for Ghanaians. And it truly has been, literally as we stand here today and talk to you.
Also, Chief Executive Officer Opportunity International Savings and Loans Limited Ghana, Ernest Ireku, highlighted the institution's growth and its contribution to Ghana's financial ecosystem.
Yes, what next is big. Again, the presence of the global board, the presence of all the board members of these 5 countries that I have mentioned, confirms the commitment of these institutions in this country. They are demonstrating to the economy that we want to do more.
Opportunity International Savings and Loans Company says the company is now focused on deepening digital innovation, strengthening risk management systems, and expanding outreach to underserved communities, particularly women and youth-led enterprises.
The Association of Chartered Certified Accountants, ACCA, has reaffirmed its commitment to producing high competent professionals for the accountancy industry. Chairperson of the ACCA Ghana Network panel, Colonel Carl Noble Duday Alose, emphasized that maintaining excellence and upholding professional standards remain essential requirements for all members. He made these remarks during the induction ceremony for newly admitted ACCA members.
Various digital and digitized technology have come to the fore and have had effects on life as we know it. And that has therefore translated to have effects on how accountancy is practiced and the impacts and the ways in which we do our works as accountants. There's been a major shift from the traditional role of an accountant as a record keeper or as a bookkeeper who keeps historical records to today's accountant who is expected to use records which are collected easily with the help of technology and the various systems that have been put in place to do analysis, to do advice. So on the various streams that you find the accountant of today, we are supposed to be forward-looking people. Hence, in redefining skills, we are trying to build the accountant or the incoming accountant to be able to stand well and be able to perform all these roles with excellence and up to the required standards that is required of the accountant of tomorrow and not of today.
Weak land governance and inaccurate spatial data could undermine Ghana's economic transformation as government calls for urgent reforms in the country's land administration system. Works and Housing Minister Kenneth Gilbert Ejay called for faster land utilization, quicker approvals and stronger agency coordination to remove housing and infrastructure bottlenecks. He was speaking at the 21st Surveyors Conference and 57th Annual General Meeting of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors in Tema. More in the following report.
Works and Housing Minister Kenneth Gilbert Ejay says accurate land measurement and transparent valuation remain critical to housing delivery, infrastructure expansion, and economic transformation. He warned that weak land governance, documentation delays, and inconsistent spatial records continue to threaten orderly urban development. Speaking at the 21st Surveyors Week and the 57th Annual General Meeting of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors, Kenneth Gilbert Ejay called for accelerated digitization of land records, faster surveys approvals, and stronger coordination between surveying, planning, and land registration agencies.
We must accelerate the digitization of land records, strengthen coordination between surveying, planning, and registration agencies, and ensure that survey data feeds directly into decision-making systems. An efficient land administration framework is not a luxury, it is a national necessity. Distinguished participants, the Ministry of Works, Housing and Water Resources has in recent years embarked on redevelopment initiatives aimed at optimizing the use of public lands through structured redevelopment programs. Underutilized state properties are being transformed into high-density developments for public servants and essential workers. Such initiatives depend heavily on accurate surveying, transparent valuation, and precise demarcation of land parcels.
Deputy Lands and Natural Resources Minister Alhaji Yusuf Suleimana touched on the Surveying Council Bill to strengthen professional regulation, ethical standards, and public confidence in the surveying profession.
The Surveying Council Bill, which is currently undergoing the necessary processes within my ministry for onward submission to Cabinet, remains a personal priority for me as Minister of Lands and Natural Resources. Indeed, yesterday he told me that one of the legacies that he wants to leave behind is to see this bill through, to ensure that it becomes an act before he leaves. I am fully committed to seeing this bill translated into an act of Parliament. The bill is intended to strengthen professional regulation, enforce ethical standards, enhance public confidence in surveying services, and align professional practice with modern technological and governance demands.
Meanwhile, President of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors, Surveyor Kofi Obin Ayirebi, says the profession is central to Ghana's development, calling for integrated professional collaboration and highlighting the new Center of Excellence as key to strengthening skills, standards, and innovation for the nation's future.
The Ghana Institution of Surveyors must therefore continue to position itself as a strategic partner to government, private enterprise, financial institutions, and other development partners. In the light of this, The institution is trying to develop a center of excellence. One of the key pillars of our forward-thinking agenda is the activation of Ghana Institution of Surveyors Center of Excellence. The future of our profession depends on continuous learning, research, innovation, and capacity development. The focus of the Center of Learning will be to sharpen the skill set of our professional members first through practical training so that we can compete at the global level.
As Surveyors Week draws to a close, the Ghana Institution of Surveyors reaffirms its role in driving professional excellence, collaboration, and sustainable growth for Ghana.
Thank you so much for watching Prime Business. I am Pius Kojo Baka. We have Prime Sports for you shortly.